What's up, everyone? Staniel Smooth here. I want to show you guys a cool thing we're doing. This podcast is sponsored by Canada Dips, the newest lineup to the dip game, but in CBD form. The Canada Dips lineup features products made for every man's lifestyle. All tins are proudly crafted from the hills of Humboldt County in California. It's filled with flavor and will give you that good vibe that CBD brings to the room. So what are you waiting for? Use the promo code BELLYUP20 in all caps at CanadaDips.com for 20% off your next order. That's BELLYUP20 at CanadaDips.com.
Good morning, Vietnam!
It's time to BS.
I want to start right off by saying thank God for Jets football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of the Staniel Smooth Show, part of Time to BS with Staniel Smooth, and part of the Belly Sports and Belly Media Networks. We're coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. And if you're a Jets fan, good God, I pray for you. I seriously do. But also, I can't help myself but laugh directly in your face. Because you individuals, well, a good chunk of you, a very large majority of you, hyped this team to such a degree that I can't help but laugh directly in your face when you said, "Oh, dude, this Jets team, they're a Super Bowl team. I'm telling you, they're a Super Bowl team. They're really good. You know, I'm telling you. Just watch. You know, Aaron's going to be healthy. This offensive line's going to be there. The defense is going to be healthy. You know, Sauce Gardner's back. Jermaine Johnson's back. Mosley, everyone. Michael Clemens, Will McDonald, blah, blah, blah. Quinn Williams. Super Bowl, I'm telling you. 13-4, AFC East." And I drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the Kool-Aid not because of the fact that I believed the Jets could win something. I drank the Kool-Aid as a stupid New Yorker. I drank the Kool-Aid, ladies and gentlemen. I drank the Jets Kool-Aid. I predicted the Jets to win the AFC East. I thought they would be a top 2 or 3 seed in the AFC. And I thought they would do something. But as my co-host Jack reminded me, never to drink the Jets Kool-Aid. And it has since been proven this season, I refuse to drink the Jets Kool-Aid any further. And this is goddamn hysterical. I'm sorry, but I'm a little sick still from the last couple weeks, so forgive me if I sound terrible. The New York Jets were in Arizona this past weekend and put up a meanly 6 points. But sure, Robert Saleh was the problem. Your defense, which prides itself on being a top-tier unit in the league, gave up 31 points to Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Good fucking Lord. I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh my ass off. I can't. You gave up 400 yards of offense to your 207 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, which have no business being this good, but then again they do because, you know, that's what happens when you have good coaching and good management. Because Jonathan again can coach. You know, good for him. The Cardinals have won, what have they won, like 5 in a row now? They lead the NFC West 4 in a row, 5 in a row? I can't remember. I lost track. But back to the Jets. Until Woody and Christopher Johnson sell the Jets, this team is going to be an absolute fucking purgatory. And I'm here for it. It couldn't happen to a more deserving fan base. Honest to God. Honest to God. Because I'm from Long Island, New York. I live on Long Island. I have to live and listen. Well, I want to listen to your sports talk radio simply because of the hilarious amounts of comedy that is produced on a 5-day-a-week basis. They hyped this team so much for the last 2.5 years because of Aaron Rodgers. For half a year, they hyped the Jets because Aaron Rodgers wanted to come to New York. Green Bay said, we're going to trade this guy because we know he's washed. And I think after this past weekend, it has been proven that Rodgers is washed. But sure, Robert Saleh's the problem. Robert Saleh, who coached the Jets into a top 5 unit each of the last few years, was the problem for the Jets. Sure, Zach Wilson was the problem for the Jets. Sure, Sam Darnold was the problem for the Jets too. Hell, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez, Greg McElroy, Josh McCown, Bryce Petty. Do you guys remember Bryce Petty? He was really good for Baylor for quite some time. He really was. Shout out to the Big 12. Oh, man, this is great. And as I sit here at 9 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, as the Islanders are in Edmonton, I can't help but feel eternally grateful. The fact that I choose to not root for the Jets. I'll watch them. I will watch them. I have faith in them every now and then, but there are times where I can't help myself and go and talk to my mother and go, Mom, why? Why do you suffer this with this eternal torment? But then again, I almost pity you. But I almost entirely feel sorry for you, as I am responsible for bringing this fandom to your heart. Oh man, it's great. I love it, and they're gonna fire everyone. The Jets are gonna fire everyone. This is a crapshoot of an organization. Just a crap show. Woody's gonna fire everyone. And it's hysterical. Jeff Ulbrich, gone. Joe Douglas, gone. No one's taking this job. And Aaron Rodgers might as well fucking retire. He has to. Well, then again, he might not because he still thinks he's Jesus and might throw the piss out of the ball. But sure, let's go get Devontae Adams to fix everything. No problem. You're 3-7. Fuck off. The Jets stink. Everything is right in the world. Comedy is back. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. You know, I really do pity Jets fans. But at the same point, I will give you credit for having the optimism that your team is finally, may or may not, finally win something. It has been nearly 60 years since the Jets have won a Super Bowl. Since the Jets have been to the Super Bowl. It has been 14 years since the Jets' last playoff appearance and since their last berth to the AFC Championship game. It has been since 2015. 9 years since their last winning season. They have been a train wreck. It has been atrocious. But sure, guys like Mike McCagnon and John Itzik and Mike Tannenbaum and Todd Bowles were the problem. Adam Gase was the problem. Sure. No. This is one of the many situations where you can point directly at the owner's face and go, Woody, you're the problem. And by God, it is funny. Oh man, I love this. And I've talked to so many Jets fans in my life the last couple of years. They say, dude, I'm telling you, if everything goes perfect according to plan, the Jets are going to win 13 games. They're going to win the AFC East, #1 defense in football, Rodgers MVP, Super Bowl. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And they're going to beat Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. It's going to be funny. I love all of this comedy. Give me all of the sodium chloride. I want it all. I want all of it. More. I love this shit. I love doing this shit. This is great. It makes me smile. It really does. Do you guys want to play a game? I like games. You like games? I like games. Games are fun. Yeah, games are fun. Games are very fun. I don't want to sound like Jigsaw, but I want to play a game. No?
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
See, I could, but I choose not to. That's not fun. I want to play a game. It's called How is TNA from 2006 to 2013 similar to AEW now? Probably the lone wrestling discussion we will have today. But there is a good fucking chunk of people that will say AEW is the best wrestling promotion in the world. I'm like, okay, good for you. We don't kink shame here. There are some people that say, oh, WWE is the best wrestling promotion in the world. It's like, okay, we don't kink shame here. That's fine. And there are some sick, twisted motherfuckers that will say Major League Wrestling is the best wrestling promotion in the world. And those people we will kink shame. We will kink shame those people. They're a very strange individual bunch. It's not even the right word. I don't care. Chaos is in order. But I could go on a rant on TNA from 2006 to 2013, 14 probably, or whenever Hulk Hogan left TNA. But 2006, Jim Cornette was... TNA was an up-and-coming promotion, and it was a very unique promotion. It wasn't WWE Light that it later became to be under Dixie Carter and Hulk Hogan. But it was essentially what AEW is trying to be, an alternative to WWE. It was different. TNA was different. And they had this six-sided ring, very unique. Probably sucked to work with as a pro wrestler. You also had the X Division, which was fantastic, which is essentially like the old Cruiserweight division back in the days of WCW and, 205 Live with WWE. And it was, you had guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy in particular, because Matt was still with WWF at the time. The first time. It's Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, who are the Motor City Machine Guns, who are now with WWE as the tag team champions, or one of the tag team champions. And I can keep the Bobby Roode, fucking fantastic heel, could have been one of the all-time great heels, but of course, in typical Vince fashion, he fucked it up. AEW, at the same point, has a lot of good talent on their shoulders. Will Ospreay, Adam Page, sort of, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. MJF, he's fantastic. Adam Cole is one of the best talents in the entire world if he could lift fucking weights. He looks like every dude that you could throw into a locker in high school, and he wouldn't get out. But then again, he does this shit for a living, so I really can't complain too much because why do I care? I'm a dude behind a microphone. I mean no harm. I'm just a dude who likes to record this shit. But here we go. But in 2006, Jim Cornette, one of the great wrestling minds in history, was hired by Dutch Mantel. By the way, there's another great wrestling mind back there, Dutch Mantel, which we'll get to him on this topic. Hope you're doing well, Dirty Dutch. And 3 months after Cornette was hired in 2006, Jeff Jarrett, who was one of the lead guys in TNA, decided to bring along a very familiar face. The wrestling fans will know very well, Vince Russo. Stop me where you've heard this before. Vince Russo proceeds to completely fuck over everything as head of creative, the head writer, blah, blah, blah. Buries all that talent, buries Sting, buries Hernandez, buries AJ Styles, sort of, buries Christian Cage, fucking thinks that, what the fuck was it? Abyss. Tries to make Abyss into a psychiatric patient for some fucking reason. I don't know. Just, for God's sakes. And then you look at this shit with AEW now and you go, this is very Vince Russo-esque, minus the Vince Russo. And you got guys like Dave Meltzer there saying that AEW is the greatest wrestling promotion in the world. No one can tell me otherwise. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. But, Tony can learn a few things from Jim Cornette and Dutch Mantel. Why? Because they booked this crap for years. For decades. Probably since Tony Khan was in diapers. Honest to God. Dutch Mantel is one of the great bookers of our time. He really is. And TNA also thought that Hulk Hogan would be their savior in 2010. Look how that turned out. They had to rebrand twice. First to Global Force, then to Impact Wrestling. Such a shame. AEW thinks the Young Bucks and John Moxley are the hottest ticket in town. They're not. They're really going to give Orange Cassidy the world title in AEW. And it's going to be hysterical. I love it. Oh, but WWE does this shit all the time. Yeah, they did. They did do it all the time. In the Vince era. Don't believe me? Alberto Del Rio is a 4-time WWE champion. Okay? Don't believe me? Jack Swagger had a world title run into WrestleMania 29. Yeah. Who the fuck else? Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody because I know Jack Swagger won the World Heavyweight title. Damien Sandow was going to cash in the Money in the Bank contract on John Cena and failed. Because Super Cena bullshit. TNA and AEW have very kind of similar dark paths in a weird way. The only difference is that AEW has money. They have a lot of money. And they're going to get more money. Oh, AEW's making money. Is like, yeah, but your ratings suck. I've said this before. I will say it again. The best thing for AEW to do is to stop booking these massive 20,000 seat arenas, only drawing in 3,000 people, and go to do what NXT's doing. The 2,300 arena in Philadelphia. Keep those places alive. Nassau Coliseum, but half of that. 10,000 seats, 5,000 seats, 3,000 seats. For God's sakes, also stop giving the Young Bucks head of creative. Keep the Young Bucks away from creative, for God's sakes. You have potential, AEW. And if Jigsaw were playing this game, I think he would look at your company and go, good fucking Lord, what the hell is going on? Because you have talent, you have potential, AEW. You do. But then there are times where you have to bash your head against the wall repeatedly while wearing a helmet, of course, because safety is important. And asking yourself, why does this company suck? I mean, TNA is still around, so I really can't say shit, but, fucking reasons, I guess. Chaos. Chaos is fun. Don't you just wonder these things and just go and throw your arms in the air and say, chaos? Because I do that a lot. Seahawks made a very interesting move earlier this week as we're recording. It's a Tuesday, so they did this yesterday. Monday on Veterans Day. Tyrell Dodson, starting linebacker for the Hawks, released 9 games into his 1-year deal that he signed from Buffalo. One of my great flaws that I have with doing, this podcast or talking to people or just in general is I like to see both sides to every argument. I love to see these, hey, what is the solution to every problem here? On one hand, you see, the Seahawks released their starting linebacker, one of the best defensive players on the team, 71 tackles, blah, blah, blah. He's been okay. Why would you release him? Blah, blah, blah. This makes no sense. Anger. Bullshit. Stuff going on. I don't know. And then on the other side, you watch the tape and you go, okay, he's not beating his blocks. He's not getting a lot of great pressure. Yeah, he has 2 sacks, but aside from that, what else great things does he's okay in coverage, but I think ever since they got Ernest Jones, the Seahawks, it's been sort of like you want to see more. And they drafted Tyrese Knight in the 4th round. I think this is one of the big reasons to why Dodson was released, is because they want to give Tyrese Knight a shot. But also, Dave Wyman, Seattle sports radio host, said it best. He played a game against, San Francisco or some shit in the 70s or the 80s. And he had 20 tackles. They gave him 500 yards, and he had 20 tackles. And the media's like, oh, congratulations, you have 20 tackles. He's like, no, that's bad. If you have 71 tackles as a linebacker this early this far deep into the season, you have a problem. You got a fucking issue. And that also goes into your defensive line is not getting a lot of pressure. They're not beating their blocks. They're not shedding the blocks. They're not beating the linemen. And that's an issue. And I don't know. There's no direct, hey, let's give this person the big slice of blame pie. You can't do that with this situation here. But it's whatever. I don't see this as a loss or a win as much as okay, let's see where this goes here. Because with the Rams losing yesterday, all of a sudden the NFC West is back to being open. But we'll see. So, yeah, Tyrell Dodson released 9 games of the season. Was also claimed by Miami today. So, yeah, good for him. And Tyrese Knight is expected to take a much larger role for Seattle. So, we'll see where this goes, boys. I have another game we could play. Which franchise has it worse, the Jets or the Giants? This is easy if you live in New York or if you're a fan of either one of these teams, or watch both of them, because good fucking Lord, Daniel Jones looks awful. He looks awful. It's hysterical that Joe Shane, the Giants GM, decided to pay this motherfucker over Saquon Barkley. I said that with enthusiasm. This motherfucker, they decide to pay this man. I don't want to sound like Stephen A. Smith, but Lord, you so dumbass motherfuckers. You know what? Go on a tangent again, boys. This shit couldn't have happened to a more deserving city of sports. New York sports, good fucking Lord. The Yankees might lose Juan Soto, too. Let's get that straight. And then the Mets fan base is just a fan base of eternal torment and heartbreak and banished to the shadow realm constantly. Just constantly banished to the shadow realm. But, oh man, I laugh. I laugh all the time because Daniel Jones continuously looks awful. It is funny. I love all of it. Just the fact that New York sports, aside from a few teams here and there, the Knicks are one of them, the Yankees too, who made the World Series, and probably the Mets. Maybe the Islanders. Okay, probably 2 or 3 teams stink. The Nets, Jets, and the Yankees. Wow, brain. Brain? What happened? Am I intoxicated?
Smoke weed every day.
No, I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not. The Nets, the Giants, and the Jets stink. Everyone else to me is kind of the same. Probably. But this is about Daniel Jones here. Daniel Jones looks like the derp of all derps. He reminds me of that one kid that you went to high school with that looks like the smart guy, but turns out to be fucking stupid. He's every jock cliche known to mankind. The good-looking quarterback who looks way better with a goatee or a beard, either or. He could nail Kay Adams if he wants to. Good for him. But turns out to be as dumb as a box of rocks. Just why? I pity Giants fans. I really do, because it's hilarious the fact that this happens to them. They haven't been able to do shit in damn near 15 years since their last Super Bowl run. It's a damn shame, and you expect good things from them all the time, and then it's like, oh god, Ben Mack a douchebag here, Joe Fudge there, Joe Crud, Joe Judge there, Brian Dable here, who the fuck was the other guy? Who the fuck was it? Give me a second, all right? I remember another coach. Give me a second here. Giants last 5 head coaches. Giants. Who the fuck was it? I can't remember. I know there was another one. Pat Shurmur. Thank you. That's who it was. It was Pat Shurmur. Oh, man. At least Dable has promise. Just, God. Oh, my God. You feel bad for them. You feel really bad for them. And it's like you want them to do, hey, Knicks won. That's awesome. We like these things. But ownership stinks. Management is questionable, to put it kindly. And they make stupid decision after stupid decision. You go, what are they doing? Hey, at least they got Brian Burns. That's nice. No? Alright, fine. You all suck. Speaking of New York sports, anyone check on the Yankees fan base since losing the World Series? Is it still filled with sodium chloride? Because I want all of it. I want all of it. Just give me all of it. The Yankees might lose Juan Soto, and it's going to happen because unless the Yankees can somehow pull an extra $70 million out of their asses, he might leave the Yankees. But we'll fucking see about that, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. I have no promise at all what's going to happen, but the more and more I see this crap, the more and more I go and say, yeah, Soto's leaving the Yankees. Give me more sodium. I want all of it. I want all of it. I just find it funny because the Yankees continuously still talk all this shit, all this crap, and they've essentially won nothing. They've won nothing. And I want all of the sodium. They made the World Series one time since 2009, and they've still done nothing. Because you know what? Chaos reigns supreme. The report is that Juan Soto is talking to all 30 teams in Major League Baseball, including the Yankees and the Mets. And all of a sudden, if you listen close, you can hear Mets fandom jerking themselves off because they want Juan Soto. Not like that's going to fix their fucking problems, but, whatever. Yeah, give them hope. Give them hope, I guess. Yeah. I want to know what the Mariners are doing. But chaos reigns supreme. It's 10 o'clock at night. I want to go to bed. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to episode 10 of the Staniel Swoosh Show. As per usual, I am coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. It's cold as shit out today. How cold is it going to be? It's freezing where I am right now. It's 42 outside. It's going to be in the 50s to 40s the entire week. Hell yeah. And then the 60s next week. Because, why not? Let's have some fun here. So, be sure to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Good Pods. Follow me in the show on Twitter, X, whatever, Threads, and Instagram, at Staniel Smooth, and at Time to BS Podcast. Be sure to thank the guys over at Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media for supporting this podcast through and through. My name is Staniel Smooth. As per usual, I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, and I will see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, guys. Have yourselves a good night.